Hey, this is Wileen Benson, and you are on the Daily Gratitude Call, where we start every day in gratitude. Gratitude is the highest energy state that we can be in. It creates a frequency of positive vibration that attracts positive experiences into our lives. Hey everybody, this is Wileen Benson. This is our Daily Gratitude Call. I'm excited for what we get to learn today. Just looking forward to leaving this call a different person and stepping into a higher level of ourselves, a higher level of learning as we leave the call today. I know that the people that are here are perfect, and everything that we get to learn is just going to be amazing because of those who are here on our live call. I also want to welcome everybody who is on our podcast, is listening as the recording, and also encourage you to participate fully. Grab some paper and a pen, write down those things that are coming to you during our 90-second meditation that we're just about to step into. And those things that you learn in your 90-second meditation, you can add to what is shared after this short meditation that we're going to be doing. The subject that we're going to focus on today, gratitude, is all the ways that we learn. Gratitude for all the ways we learn. And I'm just going to start the timer and invite you to write down your personal inspiration on that subject, this private silent meditation, gratitude for all the ways we learn. Begin. All right. I thought of all the sources of learning, mentors, reading, the internet, and God is the greatest source of my learning. And this growing season since spring, I was inspired to grow a garden. We always grow a garden every year, but usually my husband takes care of most of the work on that. And this year I was inspired to really be the main gardener. And I've done that before, and I've kind of relegated that job to him, as I've been building my business, and he's been fine with that. But this year, that was one of my inspired shortcuts, was to put more time and energy into that and see what I can learn. And I've been learning a lot, just comparing how God creates and the wisdom and order of things and the way that this earth multiplies and replenishes itself. I've learned a lot about the way God creates, and that there are a lot of lessons that can be learned in me personally taking part in that growing process. So really grateful for God and the example that he sets. In everything that he's created on the earth, there is something that we can learn. So that's my favorite source of learning. Who else has something they'd like to share?
I do.
Thanks, Mandy.
There's a thought that I had. This is Mandy. I was thinking about the different styles of learning. So there's hearing, different sounds. Then we can say different sounds and we can see different words. And what was interesting about it is that there's two ways to see it. There's positive ways to see sounds, words, and whatnot, and then there's a negative way to see it. And that's a choice that we have to see either the positive or the negative. And when we fall into the negative, we normally have, whether it's an angel or a person that comes along and picks us up so that we can see the higher road or the better path.
Wow, I love that. You're absolutely right. Somebody could say, two different people could see the same thing or read the same thing or whatever, and get two totally different meanings out of it, depending on if they're choosing to be positive or choosing to be negative. And I love that idea of having an angel on earth, or an angel, as an inspired thought or something, that is that key that helps us to shift into the positive. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'd like to share.
Hey, Phil, and then Melinda.
So it's just the process of learning is what came to me, and how we, at first, it takes concentrated focus, or it takes the conscious part of our brain to guide ourselves to do the new thing. But then it becomes a pattern, and it gets built into us, and it becomes automatic. And the first one takes effort. The second one, once it gets turned into a pattern, then it takes no effort, and it just happens. And I think it's just amazing how quickly we can do that process and create new patterns.
Beautiful. Thank you. And I know, Phil, you have personal experience with this, because you've got you're the president of the National Mentors Alliance, and I know you have some courses available. There's like a platform that has lots of different courses, and most especially courses that help people to become mentors if they just have a desire to become a mentor, but they don't really know the process of becoming that. And they are in that first level that you're talking about, that it really takes concentrated focus to even get anywhere. And a lot of times you just kind of spin your wheels because you don't really have the right tools. But then, when they participate in your course, they're able to uncover all the blind spots and see exactly what's required and what's necessary to be able to step into that role of being a mentor, and doing it in a very confident, way, professional way. And I'm just going to give you permission to post in our Breakthrough with Gratitude group, Facebook group. Will you, after the call, post a link to that, or something, a landing page or something, so that if there is somebody that's listening that's in that space where they're like, I don't even know what to do, but I know I need to do something, that they can reach out to you. Would you be willing to do that?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you, Phil. Well, Melinda, you had something.
Yeah, I was just thinking right before the 90-second meditation, a few limiting beliefs came up, with each limiting belief came the thought, why try? And so I write a limiting belief, and then the next part, the last part of that was, why try? And then you asked us to do the meditation on gratitude for all the ways we learn. And what came to me is that I'm so grateful to learn, and I learn through mistakes, through others, and through tools, but mostly stepping into the
Mhm.
unknown and trying something out, and just
Mhm.
trying helps me grow. And so the answer to that limiting belief of why try would be because that helps me grow, because I'm growing and I'm always upgrading and becoming a better person that way.
Wow, beautiful. I love that. Why try? To grow and to learn. It's a way that we learn through our mistakes and by trying. Thank you. Who else has something they'd like to share?
This is Rachel.
Okay, Rachel.
I had two thoughts. The first one was reading, learning through reading, and how we get to, I don't know, to take advantage, but enjoy other people's wisdom that they've gained and their inspiration, and be able to just take advantage of that and have it in our lives. Use their gifts, and not use their gifts, but we get to take part in what they've learned without having to do it ourselves. Like, we can
Mm-hmm.
take part of that inspiration. And then the other one is just learning from nature. For some reason, the sun coming over the mountain is really striking me today. Just how you can apply everything from nature to your life, like the Son of God coming over the mountains in our lives and bringing us comforting, warming, inviting, welcoming feelings and shining on us. So.
Beautiful. Thank you. I appreciate you sharing that, Rachel. It's just a really beautiful reminder of all the things around us that everything points to Christ. I love that. I also want to comment on what you said about using other people's gifts or leveraging other people's gifts by, just reading things that they've written. I know that there are some scriptures, I don't know exactly where to find them, but there are scriptures about people's gifts, that there are gifts. We all have spiritual gifts that we've been given. And I know there's one that says, to some is given the gift of faith or of, I think it's like, to some is given the gift of prophecy, and to others is the gift of faith to believe on the words of other people, of, those people who have the gift of prophecy. And, when I'm thinking of prophecy, it's like, being able to receive inspiration and translate it into something, that they can share with other people. And so when you're talking about reading and leveraging those people's words to your benefit, that's a gift, to be able to read what somebody else wrote and apply it to your life. That's a natural gift that we can develop. Thank you. Any other thoughts before we shift over to our permission process?
Well, I have one, Michael.
Okay, Michael, thanks.
And I thought about the five senses, sight and touch and hearing. And a lot of times we learn through experience.
Mm-hmm.
And if not our experience, we learn through another's experience. And yes, I believe that truly. You focus on something, it's a concentration, and you can change habits, change thoughts and feelings. When you're ready to learn, you open your mind, and you have all these experiences that come to you that can help you improve, grow, change, or become, it's like running a mile. You don't start out with running a mile. You start out running as far as you can.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it's only 100 feet or 10 feet. And you learn by repetition. You learn by experiencing what others have done and gone. You learn by determination, by desire. And I mean, some people are stubborn and they'll never learn. But other people say, wow, I want to learn that. And their mind opens, and they find ways to grow, and they find ways to change who they are to become the person they really want to be, or they feel they should be.
Beautiful. Thank you. I want to comment on one thing that you mentioned about when you're ready, when you're open, then those experiences can actually become learning experiences. And my thought is that, I also thought of when the student is ready, the teacher appears. And I've always, seen that as when the student is ready, the teacher, the only one teacher that you need appears. But I realized as you're talking is that we are having experiences all the time, and there are people around us all the time. And and those learning experiences are available to us all the time. The only reason that the teacher appears when we're ready is because we're ready. The teacher, there could have been a teacher there yesterday and 2 days ago and 5 days ago and 10 years ago. The teacher may have been there, but we just weren't ready to learn. So the operative, part of learning is for us to become the student. So that's a really powerful addition to what we've already shared, is there's lots of styles of learning, lots of ways to learn, but unless we become the student and we're ready, that teacher, that experience we can't get the full benefit out of it, of learning. Any last comments before we shift over to our permission process? Let's go ahead and take a deep breath and just get into that space of being ready to receive, being ready to learn, knowing that God is is the most true and pure and right source of learning, that everything that we receive from Him is correct, it's perfect, it's exactly what we need, perfect in the right moment, right time. He knows us better than we even know ourselves. And so the learning that we can receive from Him is right on target every single time. And just be open to being the student, allowing that inspiration to come to you, and believing and trusting that it will be perfect. Whatever that inspired shortcut is that you're going to receive today, that you're committing right now to take action on that. Allow yourself the flexibility in your day that whatever it is, that will be the number one priority on your list. Take one more deep breath. And I invite you to just allow that source of true inspiration to enlighten your mind and show you what is the one most important area of your life that you need to focus on today. Whether it be business or personal, or if it be a relationship or your own personal self-love, whatever it is, what area in your life needs the most attention today, and just be open to allow that to be shown to you. Trust it. And before we move on, just listen for any limiting beliefs that might be showing up about that particular area of, oh, I don't have time for that, or, oh, that can't be it, because that's okay. That area is all right. It's this other one that's really needs work. Whatever it is, that logical limiting belief or subconscious limiting belief that's coming up for you about this particular area in your life being the number one priority today, just write that limiting belief down. And we're going to set that limiting belief aside for just a moment. And within this area of your life that today gets to be the priority, what is the specific instruction that you're receiving as you're being open to being the student? Listen for the specific instruction within that area of the one thing that needs to be upgraded or changed, instead of it just being a general for that particular area. What is the one specific thing within that area of your life that needs to be upgraded or changed. And then what is the inspired shortcut to have that one area of your life, that one area, the one specific part of that area where you can start seeing some transformation there? What is your inspired shortcut? What's the number one most important thing for you to do today that will set you on the path of making changes in that specific piece of that area in your life? What's the very first thing to do today to start the wheels in motion of creating change and transformation in this particular area of your life, with specific focus on this one part? And then also listen, and if there are any other limiting beliefs that are showing up for you, add that to the other one that came up earlier. And then take a look at those limiting beliefs. And as we are focused on all the ways to learn, and we know that this source of learning that we're turning to right now, God, has the most direct path to change and success in your life. What would these limiting beliefs, what is the cost of having these limiting beliefs? If you're having limiting beliefs about receiving inspiration and learning from the highest and purest source of learning, what is the cost of these limiting beliefs? And as you're becoming more clear with what the cost of these limiting beliefs is, then you get to make a choice right now. You can keep those limiting beliefs, or you can give yourself permission to choose some new beliefs that will allow for a different set of, a different outcome. And so if you're ready to give yourself permission to choose some new beliefs, let go of those old limiting beliefs, say yes.
Yes.
Awesome. And so choose some new beliefs. I would say at least 2 new beliefs for each of the limiting beliefs that you have written down. 2 to 3 new beliefs that will replace those old limiting beliefs, will empower you to be able to not only ask for and receive inspiration, but to trust it, to see it as the most refined and pure source of learning that will allow you to move forward the fastest, most efficient change agent to becoming the person that you want to be, to up-leveling all the areas of your life. What are those new beliefs that will empower you and give you the faith and the confidence to move forward with what you receive, what you learn? And then really bring those new beliefs into your soul. Allow those new beliefs to kick out those old limiting beliefs out. You can just see the wisdom in these new beliefs and the folly in the limiting beliefs that you had before. And so because you are a smart person and you can see clearly what these old limiting beliefs were doing and what the new beliefs will begin to create in your life, that you make that logical, subconscious, conscious of all the different levels of learning, that you are adding those new beliefs into all the different ways that we learn, that we act, that we make decisions. Everything that is part of us, our beliefs, our subconscious, our conscious, choice, all of those, that these new beliefs are applied to all those different levels. So even subconsciously or just out of habit, you would never go back to those old limiting beliefs, because these new beliefs have replaced it in all the different ways that we learn. In a moment, I'm going to open it up for a couple shares. I want to invite anybody that is struggling in this area and in anything that has been shared on this call today. If you're feeling like you need some extra support, would love to have a 15-minute call with you, and you just have to go to askwylene.com, and that will take you directly to my calendar, and you can schedule a 15-minute call, and we'll find the one pivotal piece that's needed for you to be able to move forward. askwylene.com. Who has something that they would like to share about their experience today? We have time for a couple of shares.
Last night, my husband drives a long distance for work every day. He travels all over, and he keeps using the same mechanic, and he keeps being dishonest. And I'm like, okay, so what do we need to do to change this in our lives? Obviously, I think, is the one step is to choose a new mechanic. And so I've been thinking about this a lot in new ways of learning, and maybe it's not related. Maybe it's just because it's on my mind. But I think that we can invite better ways by finding people that are trustworthy and honest and do good work. And I think that we innately are able to decipher that if we tune into our own feelings and our own, I don't know, just to feel if someone really feels like they're aligned with us. And so I have some limiting beliefs to work through with that, but I think that is a great, anyway, this was helpful for me today.
Thank you. I'm hearing what you're saying, and I think about, I know there have been times when I have accepted a certain level of whatever in my life, and I'm going to call it mediocrity, where I have accepted mediocrity in my life. And it's not until I consciously acknowledge it, like you just saying, we've been using the same mechanic and that mechanic is dishonest. And it's almost like I haven't learned my lesson yet. I'm going to keep going back to that mechanic until I learn the lesson that someone who's dishonest does not align with who I want to be. And as soon as we learn the lesson of this doesn't fit, this is not who I want to be, whether it's who I have been in the past or not, it doesn't matter. It's who do I want to be? Who am I wanting to become? What level of honesty do I want to have in my life? Or, whatever the character trait or whatever it is that you're seeking. And it's in that moment when you recognize that I've been living beneath my privilege. I've been living a mediocre life, and I choose to have something better, that we all of a sudden are so keenly aware of how our world is not lining up with that person that we want to be. And as soon as we learn that lesson of, who we want to be, then we all of a sudden it's like the fog comes off of our eyes and we see all the different areas in our life that are out of alignment. And then we can start making some changes. And as we level up our lives, then everything around us, our environment, must level up to be in alignment. That's scriptural, and it is according to the law of attraction. Everything we attract to us, that same level, the same frequency and the same level that we, in our minds or in our belief system or whatever, in our past experience, until we acknowledge it and have learned the lesson, we're going to continue attracting those same things. I appreciate you sharing that, Tyree.
Thank you.
Can I add to what you said, Wylene?
Yeah, go ahead, Phil.
There's a difference between I am not enough and this is not enough.
Exactly.
We get confused in the this is not enough as being I am not enough, and it's okay to say, hey, I deserve better, and I'm going to make a change.
Beautiful. I love that. And I don't know if you got that out of my book or if that's just a truth that's out there that everybody knows, that everybody has access to. But there's like a whole section in the 7 Gateways book, in the Gateway of Abundance, that talks about because we are always enough, but the circumstances that we have in our lives is not always enough. It's not always in alignment with who we were really meant to be. Thank you, Phil. I'd love to continue our conversation, but we are at the end of our time. I really encourage you to go to the Facebook group, Breakthrough with Gratitude, and post your thoughts there if you weren't able to share here, or if you've gotten new insights that, even after the call, if you get some new insights and like to share those, we would love to read about those. It's all one of the ways that we learn is through others' experiences. So I encourage you all to share your thoughts and let us learn along with you. Thank you for everyone who's been on this call today, who has shared, who's just brought your energy to the call. Thank you for being here live. And also thank you for those who are listening, because you add to what we create here. There's like an energy that radiates out. And when each of us learns, then we become a new person, and we can't help but radiate something else, something new and better out. So as we uplift ourselves, we're also uplifting the world. And I'm just grateful for all of you who participate. Look forward to being back together tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. And thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks so much for listening. And I encourage you to tune in every day to the Daily Gratitude Call. And the Daily Gratitude Call happens live every weekday morning. I'd love to have you join. So to find out how to join live, go to my website, WileenBenson.com. Thanks for tuning in.